As I'm approaching 39, I'm just at a point where I have zero tolerance. It ain't even that, it's zero. Um, I don't have time for people's BS and shenanigans and foolishness and all this other stuff. So I think I'm just in a place where I don't care when it comes down to calling people out, when it comes down to taking names, calling them out, and letting them know about themselves. If they get pissed off and angry, so be it. I mean, whether it's church, work, people, relationships, family, home, whatever, I am at that point. I just don't have any room left inside of me to deal with it. Um, you can only take so much disrespect. You can only take so much being taken advantage of. You can only take so much of people's mess and foolishness. And after a while, you just get over it. And you call them out on it. And either they change up, they stick around, or they walk away and leave. And, and that's that. But I'm just, especially after this year especially has been especially chaotic and unnecessarily hurtful on levels that I can't even describe. Um, Literally, from the president to people that are like extremely close to me. I mean, it has been one of the most hurtful years. This year will probably get its own chapter and it'll be in the back of the book. That's how I feel about this year. Throw it away, burn it up, stick a piece of dynamite in it. Matter of fact, stick 2 pieces of dynamite in it. It has been a hell of a year, and not in a good way. It has been a hell of a year, emphasize hell, okay? And yes, everybody's got their, oh, it could be worse, and that's fine. Look, I get it could be worse. And I know there's people in other countries that are starving to death and everything else. But I think the thing we fail to realize is my pain is my pain. Your pain is your pain. And I think that's something we've got to recognize and stop minimizing each other's pain and the things that we go through. Our lack of empathy and sympathy and understanding and care is just, it's insidious. The fact that we could treat each other as ugly as we do and think that it's okay. And then we do things not just directly, but indirectly. There's stuff we do indirectly that affects people, and we don't even think about it. I mentioned the president, and I use this as a very broad example, but it's the truth. His decision caused me to get laid off this year. And some of the people that I was close to, I'll never forget, I was sitting there at lunch, and I remember one of my coworkers telling me, you found your tribe. I did. And then it got sucked away from me because of our president. It's stuff like that type of just indirect consequences, indirect consequences. People that I'm friends with who they have friends who do things that affect me because either I hear about it or it somehow indirectly affects me because of how my friend got taken advantage of by that other friend because I'm over here picking up the pieces. It's not fair. It's not right. And so, yeah, I could get on a soapbox and tell you what we should do, what we shouldn't do, Like, I preach till I'm blue in the face. And to be quite frank, I'm tired of preaching to people. No, it's time to start calling people out on their BS. Move forward, keep moving, and hope for the best. Hope people change. Yes, I do hope people change. But, the sad thing is society would do better without some of them. And that's just the truth. Society would be better off without some of the people that are here causing the damage that they're causing. So, yeah, good riddance. If you go somewhere, disappear. Good riddance. And that's, people could say, well, Matthew, you're being bitter, you're lacking compassion. No, I'm being reasonable. Everybody says that's not Christ-like. Maybe it's not. I don't know. He's still dealing with me on some stuff. But a lot of it is just too darn much. And I think also most of us tolerate too much. We're not strong enough, or, we got our pride up so much. We're not even willing to allow people to call us out on our mess. If I've got mess with me and I'm doing stuff to hurt people and everything else, yes, I would rather be called out, because honestly, that's a lot better than God getting a hold of me. Because I think by the time God gets a hold of us, it's like that means we've ignored all the signs. We've ignored all the voices. We've ignored everybody who said, hey, maybe you need to calm down. Maybe you need to stop. Maybe you need to not do that, etc., etc. I think by the time God gets to us, like it means we've crossed so many lines that now God is having to step in. That should mean something. The fact that God has to step in. So yeah, as I approach 39 and the last year of my 30s, my tolerance level is 0. That's it. I don't mean to be grumpy old man, grumpy man, whatever, or to be, Mr. Downer or anything like that. But I do think it's just, for me, I'm at that point where I can't tolerate it. I'm not here for it. I don't care what situation it is, what people shine it up and say it's God. No, it's not God. If God's telling you to do that, you're not hearing from the right God. Yeah, I'm just done with a lot of stuff. So I say that in love, but I also say it with a firmness that, for me, I don't have time for it. So 0 tolerance, and that's it. If you're going to be around me, be with me, be on my side, then be that. Otherwise, hey, good luck. Most of the time it's going to be your loss, not mine, because, and that's not arrogance. I know where I shine at, and I know who I am. I know what I'm called to do. I know what I'm about. And, when people are not appreciative of that, what can you say? It is what it is. But, like I said, most of the time is your loss. But like I said, I'm just at that point. No more games and foolishness and all this other stuff. Just don't have the energy. I remember, I think the night before Thanksgiving, Netflix expanded their bandwidth so they wouldn't crash. And all I could think to myself was, boy, I wish I could expand my bandwidth. I cannot.